You know that feeling when you realize you're running a marathon, but you've completely forgotten where the finish line is, or even why you started running in the first place? For weeks, that's been my life, a constant, silent race against a clock I can't see. The city hums, but the loudest noise isn't outside. It's a constant, low-frequency buzz in my own mind, a playlist of notifications, deadlines, and expectations on repeat. It blurs the days together into one long gray streak of motion, and you start to lose the texture of things, the taste of your morning coffee, the color of the evening sky. Everything becomes functional, a means to an end you no longer remember. And then, today, the hum just became unbearable. It wasn't a dramatic breakdown. It was a quiet, deep exhaustion, a profound sense of being disconnected. It's not a desire to escape, not really. It's a deeper need, a need to simply hear the sound of my own breath again, without all the static. Down in the quiet of the garage, my bike is waiting. It's not just metal and chrome. To me, it's an anchor. It's a promise of a different kind of conversation, one that doesn't happen in words. The worn leather of my jacket feels like a second skin, a familiar comfort. The click of my helmet visor closing is like drawing a curtain on the world stage, leaving just me and the road ahead. When I turn the key, the engine doesn't roar. It awakens, and its deep, steady rumble isn't just another sound. It's a frequency that cancels out all the others, silencing the relentless chatter in my head. In that moment, there are no to-do lists, no emails, no expectations. There is only this vibration, this potential for movement. I start the engine not to race away, but to return. You know that feeling when you finally walk out the door, but you're still carrying the entire house on your shoulders? The weight of unfinished conversations, the mental grocery lists, the echo of an email you should have answered differently. That's how the first few kilometers always feel for me. The click of the visor closing isn't a switch that turns the world off, not at first. It just seals me inside with all the noise. As I pull away from the curb, I can physically feel the layers I'm wearing, not the jacket or the leather, but the invisible ones. There's a layer of expectation, what the day demanded, what others needed. Beneath that, a layer of self-criticism, replaying every minor mistake. And under that, the thick, heavy blanket of simple, everyday anxiety. With every turn that takes me further from the city's familiar grid, I'm trying to shed them, one by one. But they cling. The first 5, maybe 10 minutes on the road are a kind of negotiation. My mind is a frantic bird trapped in a room, fluttering against the windows, still convinced it needs to be somewhere else, doing something else. The engine's steady hum is there, but I can't quite sync with it yet. The wind rushes past, but it's just noise, not a voice. My thoughts are a tangled mess of yarn, a dense, chaotic ball in the pit of my stomach. They pull in every direction at once. Did I lock the back door? I need to call my sister back. That project at work needs a better solution. Am I going fast enough? Am I going too fast? It's exhausting. And then, something quietly shifts. It's never a sudden event, more like the slow turning of a tide. It's a strange kind of alchemy, this first stretch of asphalt. The engine doesn't shout my thoughts down, it gives them a rhythm. The constant, unwavering thrum begins to vibrate through the frame, through my hands, up into my shoulders, and it slowly, gently shakes the chaos loose. The wind, which was just an aggressive rush of air, finds its texture. It's no longer attacking me with noise. It seems to comb through my thoughts. In the rush of the wind, you sometimes hear the most important answers, but first, it has to clear out all the questions you shouldn't have been asking in the first place. One by one, the trivial worries lose their grip. They don't vanish in a puff of smoke. They just seem to lose their weight, their urgency. They become transparent, and the wind simply carries them away, like milkweed fluff on an autumn afternoon. The thought about the email, the grocery list, they just drift past, like roadside markers I no longer need to read. This is the process, the unwinding. The tangled, frantic knot in my chest begins to loosen, not because I'm pulling at it, but because I've finally given it the space to breathe. The road teaches you that. It doesn't demand you solve anything right away. It just asks you to keep moving forward. And as I move, the knot gives way. And then, it's no longer a knot. It's a single, straight thread pulling me forward into the landscape. Clean, simple, and true. This is where the real journey begins. Not on the map, but right here, in the quiet space that's finally been cleared. You know that feeling? The constant, low-humming pressure to keep moving. A voice in the back of your mind that whispers, "Faster, don't fall behind, what's next?" For weeks, that whisper had become a roar, louder than the engine beneath me. Every mile marker felt like a missed opportunity. Every horizon a finish line I could never quite reach. The world was a blur of green and blue, a beautiful movie I was watching on fast forward. And then, something inside me just yielded. It wasn't a conscious decision at first, more like an instinct. My hand gently rolled back the throttle. The engine's deep growl softened to a contented purr. The vibration through the handlebars eased, and the world began to resolve itself from a watercolor wash into a high-definition photograph. I saw it then, standing alone in a vast sea of swaying grass, a sentinel of a tree. Old, gnarled, its branches reaching out, not in aggression, but like open arms. I signaled, not to anyone else on this empty road, but to myself. I pulled over, the crunch of gravel under the tires the only sound. I killed the engine. The silence that followed was immense, profound. It rushed in to fill the space the noise had occupied, and in the roar of that quiet, I finally heard myself think. I swung my leg over, my boots sinking slightly into the soft earth. Taking off my helmet felt like shedding a second skin, a barrier between me and the world. The air, warm and smelling of sun-baked soil and chlorophyll, was a balm. I walked over to the tree and sat down at its base, leaning my back against the rough, comforting bark. This wasn't for rest, not in the physical sense. This was for the main event. My gaze, usually fixed on the vanishing point of the road ahead, fell to the ground just inches from my boot. A tiny drama was unfolding there. A single ant, a creature of immense determination, was wrestling with a blade of grass at least 3 times its size. It heaved, it pivoted, it stumbled, but it never let go. Its entire universe, its grand purpose, was this single, monumental task. It wasn't worried about the other side of the field. It wasn't anxious about what the ants in the next county were doing. Its whole existence was poured into this one perfect, difficult moment. Then I looked up, through the canopy of leaves above me. The sun was filtering through, creating a living, breathing kaleidoscope on the ground around me. Each leaf was a stained glass window, turning the harsh light into soft, dappled pools of liquid gold. It was a silent dance, a spectacle that had been happening all day, every day, whether anyone was there to see it or not. It asked for no audience. It demanded no applause. It simply was. It was in that moment I realized, with a clarity that felt like a cool drink of water on a scorching day, what we get so wrong. We race through our lives, our eyes glued to the horizon, chasing a future we believe holds all the prizes. We're so terrified of missing what lies ahead that we completely miss what is. We miss the ant and its heroic struggle. We miss the lazy dance of light and shadow. We miss the feeling of solid ground beneath us. We miss the life that is happening right here, in this breath, in this heartbeat. The road taught me one important thing today. Slowing down isn't about losing the race. In fact, there is no race. There is only the journey. And to truly be on it, you have to be present for it. To deliberately stop, to be still, isn't a sign of defeat. It's an act of profound courage. It's about giving the moment a chance to catch up to you. And when it does, you realize it was never behind you at all. It was here, all along, patiently waiting for you to arrive. You know that feeling when you return to a familiar place, but you're the one who's changed? The click of the visor closing sounds the same. The low thrum of the engine vibrates through the seat, just as I remember. But something is fundamentally different now. I'm not running from the city's noise anymore. I feel like I'm carrying the silence I found within me, bringing it out here onto the asphalt. It's no longer an escape. It has become a dance. My hands on the grips are lighter, my shoulders more relaxed. Before, my focus was always on the vanishing point, on what was to come, on the next town, the next milestone. Now, my world has shrunk in the most beautiful way possible. It has become this bike, this ribbon of road, and this breath. The road taught me one very important thing. True freedom isn't the endless stretch of horizon waiting for you miles ahead. It's not about devouring the distance or outrunning your own shadow. It's the profound, absolute presence in the single meter of road you're on, right in this very second. And in that presence, everything becomes a conversation. Each turn isn't an obstacle to be conquered, but a gentle question from the road. Are you here with me? Are you paying attention? My lean into the curve is my answer. Yes, I am. Every gust of wind that pushes against my shoulder isn't a force to fight, but a part of the dialogue, a reminder to adjust, to lean in, to be flexible. My focus narrows from the distant future to the texture of the tarmac just ahead, the way the late afternoon sun filters through the trees, painting fleeting patterns on my path. I'm not chasing the moment anymore. I'm simply letting it unfold, breath by breath, revolution by revolution. In the roar of the wind, you sometimes hear the most important answers. And today, it's whispering a simple truth. You are already where you need to be. The sun is melting into the horizon, painting the inside of my visor in shades of deep orange and soft violet. The engine beneath me isn't roaring anymore. It has settled into a steady, rhythmic hum, like a deep and calming breath. I'm heading back, but it doesn't feel like a retreat. It's different this time. You know that feeling when you're returning from a long journey and the familiar world seems a little strange, a little distant? I'm not just returning to the city's noise. I'm carrying my own silence back with me. It's this newfound space inside, a quiet clearing I can visit whenever I need to. In the roar of the wind, you sometimes hear the most important answers. And today, the wind whispered something incredibly simple. To have enough time to truly live, sometimes you just have to stop. The road taught me one vital thing today. This journey was never about escaping. You can't outrun the things that weigh on your mind. They have a way of catching up at the next red light. No, the greatest discovery of this road wasn't that you can leave your problems behind, but that you can find a profound stillness within yourself. And the best part? You can pack it up and take it with you wherever you go. This quietude is my souvenir.